Since the USA is so big, let's compare some states to countries. The biggest US state, Alaska, is very similar in size to the country of Libya, and the smallest US state, Rhode Island, is very similar in size to the country of Trinidad and Tobago. New York is about the same size as Greece or Tajikistan, and California is also similar in size to Iraq. Florida is about the same size as Uruguay and Bangladesh, while Missouri is also very similar in size to Florida, comparable to Cambodia or Syria. Montana is the same size as Japan, if you put it all together, and also Germany. Texas, on the other hand, is comparable to France or Afghanistan. New Jersey is very similar in size to Belize and the internationally recognized borders of Israel. Next is Wisconsin, which is similar to Somaliland and Uruguay. Indiana is about the same size as South Korea or Portugal. And New Hampshire, same as Djibouti or North Macedonia, since it is quite a small state. Finally, Washington State is the same size as Syria, and just a little bit bigger than it is the country of Belarus. North Carolina is the same size as Nicaragua or Greece, while Michigan is the same size as New Zealand or the United Kingdom. Oregon is the same size as Romania or Gabon, while New Jersey is slightly larger than both Israel and Slovenia. Arizona is the same size as the Philippines, or I guess Italy, and Iowa is the same size as Tajikistan or Nepal. Hawaii, which is about the same size as either Albania or Armenia. Another highly requested one has been Maryland, which is the same size as Taiwan or Belgium. Louisiana is very comparable to North Korea or Greece, while Ohio is about the same size as Eritrea and a little bit bigger than Honduras. Tennessee is almost exactly the same size as Cuba or Iceland, while Kentucky is the same size as South Korea or Guatemala. I've gotten a ton of requests for Illinois, which is about the same size as Tunisia or Nepal. Georgia, which seems small, has the same size as the wildly populated country of Bangladesh or Greece. Utah is about the same size as Laos in Asia or Romania. North Dakota is kind of similar to Syria or Senegal, while Colorado is the same size as, shockingly, New Zealand or Ecuador. Connecticut is the same size as the Bahamas or Kuwait. First off, we got Virginia, which is the same size as North Korea or Malawi. Minnesota is slightly smaller than the United Kingdom and about the same size as Romania. Pennsylvania is identical to Honduras or Eritrea. Arkansas is the same size as Greece or Nicaragua. Idaho, on the other hand, is a lot bigger, more like Guyana or Laos. Kansas is just like Belarus, or the same size as Senegal. South Carolina is the same size as the UAE or Azerbaijan, and West Virginia is the same size as both Latvia or Lithuania. South Dakota is a lot bigger, like Kyrgyzstan or Syria. Alabama is the same size as Greece or Nicaragua, and Maine is the same size as both Hungary and Poland. Nebraska, which is just like Cambodia or Uganda, or Oklahoma, which is the same size as Syria or Suriname. Mississippi is the same size as Bangladesh or North Korea, while New Mexico is the same size as Finland or Norway. Finally, Wyoming is the same size as the United Kingdom or Guinea, despite having a teeny tiny population. Subscribe. Nevada, everybody's been asking for this one, and it's the same size as Ecuador or Poland. Massachusetts is the same size as Haiti or Armenia, and Vermont is the same size as Djibouti or Israel. And a bonus, Washington DC, technically not a state, I know, is the same size as Liechtenstein or the Marshall Islands. Now that we've compared all US states to countries, what about the territories? Well, one state that I did actually miss was Delaware, which is the same size as Brunei or Trinidad and Tobago. First, we have Puerto Rico, which is the same size as Montenegro or Vanuatu, despite not being a state that has more people than a few US states. The Northern Mariana Islands are the same size as Andorra or Seychelles. The U.S. Virgin Islands are the same size as Comoros or Mauritius, and American Samoa is the same size as Åland in Finland and Hong Kong, which is part of China now. Guam is the same size as the Faroe Islands, which are part of Denmark, or São Tomé and Príncipe, which is a country in Africa. And finally, the end of the series, the minor outlying islands, which there are 9 of, all put together are the same size as San Marino, Pitcairn, or Bouvet Island in Norway.